Chapter 13. Groundless. Cameron and I landed alone in front of the Tower of Weaponry. I feel very different, I sighed. Yes, we are going alone into this cleansing. We have grown much, Cameron replied. We have earned a new level of trust with Jesus and Lyon. I smiled softly as I looked at him. Yet we have not really earned anything at all, for it was Lyon, Jesus, and Shadow always leading us perfectly on. All we did was follow. Something that comes so easy can hardly be earned, Cameron said. Yet it takes us so long to see that. We try too hard to earn. I can see that clearly now. Following is much easier than trying to earn. We can be trusted friends of Jesus through his own loving grace that led us into his trust in the first place. It is all him. We cannot, but he can, we both said simultaneously and laughed. We stood at the great door, and like any good guest, we knocked. Another burst of laughter. We were drawn in again by the pleasant pull in the air, but this time we flew on our own. Our tools and armor were sucked into the first ducts as we hovered in the airstream. We stood in t-shirts and leggings and looked up for the stairs, but there were no stairs. This was getting funnier and funnier. We didn't need them. Our faith had grown through our wars and resting, and we were becoming groundless. We flew up right into our cleansing tubes. Everything was different this time around in the Tower of Weaponry. I knew this was a great lesson, to always be open to change. Living centered in his limitless creativity, one could experiment and experience his ways for eternity and never do the same thing twice. His was an unlimited, unpredictable adventure. One had only to let go of all constant thought and preconceived ideas to fly with him forever on earth as it is in heaven. Somewhere along this sliding ride, our clothes had changed into swimwear that was loose, but somehow perfectly fitted so that it felt like a part of us. We took a turn and were emptied out together into a massive jacuzzi tub filled with rich, velvety rainbow suds. We were at once enveloped in a creamy bath. As I slid down with a sigh into the churning bubbles, I glimpsed a sign in the window. Rest stop. I want to stay here forever, I said out loud to no one in particular. We heard Jesus' voice echoing in the bathing room. You can stay in any rest stop forever. You own them in your heart. There are many depths of these experiences that stay and grow in your spirit as you recognize and nurture them. So we decided to stay for a while. Perhaps it was months. Time did not matter. What mattered was the longest, most refreshing bath known to mankind. Familiar angels arrived with those ever so soft brushes and oils for rubbing, washing, and massaging. They were the scrubbing angels from the waiting room. We dozed off several times into long naps, waking up to feelings of refreshing, always with angels attending us. When we decided to get out of the bath, we simply got back into the ducts. This time we were dumped into hampers full of linens alive and enfolding us. The scrubbing angels pushed us home in our hampers. We laughed the entire way as we bumped lightly down the blue road. They pushed us straight to our mansion of living rooms and into our bedroom. Our bed was suspended on rods hanging from 100-foot ceiling with at least 50 feet between the bottom of the bed and the floor. The bed itself was the size of 4 king-size beds, and the ceiling over it was a sliding glass skylight. We could see the stars glimmering as night fell. On one wall was a gigantic fireplace lit and roaring. We looked closer and saw Lyon there in the fire with his mouth wide open. It was a welcoming roar as the blaze warmed the room. We flew up to our bed. We lay down and Cameron began to sing a lullaby to Jesus in his native Farsi tongue. The skylight slid open with a swish, letting in the cool night air. The bed swayed on its rods to Cameron's melody. Everything was alive with the spirit of Lyon as his roar became rhythmic, blending with the song. The mixture was beautiful. The last thing I saw was a lamb constellation in the night sky above the bed. Lyon was there now, roaring until the lamb walked right into his mouth, and they were gone. I fell into a lovely dream about the stars. They came in through the ceiling window and floated around the room like magic, dripping sparks and changing colors. They seemed shy and frail, yet so intense as they sang this song. We are the stars in the morning, the singing stars of life. We whisper in the dawn after fulfilling slumber nights. We awaken more passion as we kiss with sparks and dreams. We fill with revelation, everything more than it seems. After they finished their song, they melded together into 4 stars and entered our eyes, flooding us body, spirit, mind, and soul. Our hearts were lifted up as the melody filled us. I saw our hearts literally rise up out of our chests and sing the song of the stars. We sat up together in our mystical bed, singing out loud, wide awake and totally refreshed. It was not a dream. We had slept and swallowed the stars, and now it was time for further discovery of the great adventures of our God. There's always so much to look forward to, so many great expectations, something new every second around every corner. We flew down from our suspension bed and into one of the hallways of 100 doors. We walked down the long hallway through the foyer and into our breakfast room. It was a fantastically lit sunroom with a small table set for 2. Birds were flitting around, setting our breakfast out. They brought the choicest fruits and grains, and we started to feel silly and lightheaded. I looked over at Cameron, and his eyes were dancing with stars. As he realized this, he made a hilarious face. I took the example and called my own stars into my eyes. This brought an uproar of laughter as the stars sprang out and danced all around our heads, singing a new song. We are also stars of laughter dancing around your heads. Stars of joy all through the day, not just in your bed. We're playful and we're silly. We want you to be too. There's a time for war and a time for rest and a time to cry. But now's the time to have some fun and be a simple fool. I was reminded of the pillow fight with Jesus in my first forest with the starlit bedclothes. We had come a long way to this breakfast with the stars.